Welcome! Today's session is all about synchronizing the upper and lower halves of our body in ward off right. So let's get started. So let's review just the arms first for ward off right, and then we'll start adding in the footwork, okay? So I want to start from the normal direction first, and then I'm going to turn and mirror you to make it a little bit easier. So we start with our punch. We just did parry, block, and punch. The first thing is we ward off with the left arm and we make our fist to the diagonal direction. Now from here, we're going to rotate that left arm, but it's going to look like more because our waist is going to turn as we open up our right fingers. Then we're going to keep that left arm out in front and bend the right arm underneath. Then it's one up and one going down. Final position, make sure that elbow is sitting low and the left fingers point to the center of the right forearm. This right forearm, we want to make sure that it's to the straight direction, not offside. Make sure your torso is open towards the corner so your arm can be to straight. Okay, so let's do it in the mirrored version. Makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so from our punch, the first thing we do, if you sink down into your knees a little bit, you can turn your waist a little bit more. Okay, we connect out and we make our diagonal fist. Okay, now we're going to open up the fingers and we're going to turn that palm to show grabbing. Now that we showed grabbing, we have to bring it back to center. So we're going to keep it on that plane and we're going to bring it back to center as the right arm bends underneath. And from here, it's going to be up and down, passing over the forearm center. So again, final position, make sure we're close enough. And then we have that elbow sinking down. The elbow is actually going to line up with the knee, but we'll talk about that when we add the footwork, okay? Let's do it again. From here, we're mirroring a lot because after we mirror, we're going to be facing the normal direction again and again, okay? So from here, first, connect, stick to your opponent. Then you're going to show grabbing. Now you're going to bring them back to your center line so then you can issue your power over the center of the forearm. So remember, the meaning is grabbing a wrist and controlling the elbow. So it's up and down go together. And this movement will not work if you're just holding your arm here and you're just going like this, or if you're just going like this. Okay, so it's very important. Tai Chi is always about everything coordinating together. Okay, so let's try and do it again from the normal direction because this is how we're going to practice with the footwork. So from our punch, bending into your legs so you can turn your waist. Okay, first we connect out. Now we are going to turn to show grabbing. Now close the arms on center and then go up and down. Let's just do the footwork, okay? With this footwork, it's standard Tai Chi walking, one bow stance into the other. So we start with our parry, block, and punch. We're going to hold our arms up. We shift back. And when we open up the foot, we want to make sure what's going on. Both knees are in line. Now, as we shift forward, we're going to be turning. We step out. We're going to stay open and we're going to move forward. Okay? So unlike the transition to parry, block, and punch and some other movements, we go from open to close. This one, we're going to stay open. So we start parry, block, and punch. We're going from one bow stance into another. So just normal Tai Chi walking. We're going to go from straight, shift back, pour that weight in, torso still to straight. Keep pouring that weight in, turn. Get everything towards the corner and step. Now when you move forward, we're going to keep that torso open. So let's do it again. And then we're going to start adding in the arms, okay? So again, I'm going to keep my arms down because of my shoulder and neck, but you can bring your arms up if it feels good. Okay, starting from straight. First, we shift back. We open up the left foot, pour that weight in. Checkpoint number 1. We're going to keep that weight moving forward and we're going to turn and step. This is our next big checkpoint. Then we move forward. Okay. Not too bad, right? Now that seems really simple without the arms. But now we have to add the arms. Okay? So remember, we're going to practice this a lot because this is how we get familiar with the movements. Once we're more familiar with the movements, we'll be able to relax into it a little bit more. So starting from parry, block, and punch, we have our right fist, our left leg is forward, left palm is facing the forearm. We're going to shift back. We're going to open up that left foot and we're going to ward off and connect out. So check right here. Left elbow and knee should be in line. Our right fist is pointing diagonal and both armpits are open. Now remember our next step is rotate to show grabbing and open, right? Open, okay? So we're going to shift and we're going to be about halfway when we have this rotation to show grabbing and our fingers are pointing down. Now, as we step out, we're going to close the arms to center and step. So in this position here, we should have that back position of our bow stance, weights in the left leg, left arm is reaching out and the right arm is bent underneath. And what direction is your torso? It's open a little bit less than corner. Okay, now as we move forward, up and down together. Now let's reset. Let's do this a few times, okay? From here, up and down. So I want you to find elbow and knee in line again. So we're not going to be off to the side. Remember, our torso being open is what allows this bent arm to be directly in front. Okay? Now can you find, just like we did without the legs moving, move forward, up and down together. Reset, up and down together. Okay, one more time. Ready? Up and down together. So it's the transition that gets us, because the transition, we have one checkpoint that's really clear. So our first clear checkpoint is here. And we say, okay, I can hit this point. I can get my left elbow and knee in line and get my ward off arm and diagonal fist. But then what we really want to get and hone in on is moving our weight forward, we show grabbing and we open up our fist. Then we're going to close the arms and step. So this is our next checkpoint, but that transition in between is the tricky one. And now we move forward and show ward off right. Okay? So we know that the arms by themselves from this point can be a little tricky. Okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to practice a bunch, arms and legs together. So from our fist, left leg forward, punching, okay? Shift back, open up the left foot, warding off with your diagonal fist. Now, rotate to show grabbing and open up those fingers. You can even have your toes on the ground right here. But all that weight is in your left leg because now you're going to close and step. Now remember, sweeping across because we're bringing that arm in front of us and then up and down go together. Ready? Let's do it again. Bring that right foot behind you. punching. Okay, shift, connect, out, weight moves in. We still have some weight in that back leg, but most is in the left. Now, as you show grabbing and you open up that fist, look, I'm on my toes just to like give you an in-between point, okay? There's no weight here. It's like my big toe is just touching for a little bit of support. Now, we're gonna bring it in and close step. Then up and down together. Let's do it from our punch. All right, left leg forward, right fist, shift, and ward off with your diagonal fist. Left foot is to corner. Show grabbing and open up your fist. Close the arms and step, up and down, go together. So those are the cues you're going to hear me say again and again every time we practice, okay? It's going to be the exact same cues. Now, the goal in Tai Chi is to practice continuously without interruption. Another principle, right? I know, I'm picking your brain hard because we're getting to the end of the form. We have done grasping the bird's tail, a lot of us. So I'm trying to pick your brain and just show you the connection over the past year of everything we've done together, okay? So now we're going to bring in practice continuously without interruption. So that means we have our checkpoints, but we want to continue to flow. So let's start from our punch. Grasping the bird's tail, the first movement is ward off right. Shift back, turn that foot, ward off. Rotate to show grabbing, bending that right arm underneath, close step, up and down, go together. Okay, one more time, finding that flow. Left leg forward, right fist punching. Okay, shift back. Remember, gaze is staying forward the whole time. Rotate to grab, close step, up and down for ward off right. Should be feeling a little bit better now, right? But now we have to add the challenge. What's the challenge? We're going to start from chop with fist and add in parry, block, and punch. So back up in your space. So we did chop with fist as we chop right leg forward and then we strike with our left palm. Okay, parry, block, and punch. We're going to connect out, center line. Parry down, use the elbows and shoulders. Remember, you're making a half of a circle and you step. Then you're completing that circle as you parry. Left arm and leg go for the block. Then we punch. Okay, shift and ward off. Left toes to the corner. Show grabbing as you open up your fist. Close the arms and step, and then up and down, go together. How'd you do? Hopefully great. Let's do it again one more time, okay? From chop with fist, remember, we step and we chop, and then we do our left palm push or strike. Okay, so parry, block, and punch. First, we connect out in the center line. Then we parry down and we pick up the right foot. Touch with the heel. Open the right foot to the corner. Parry again. Right fist to the hip. Left arm and leg go out together. And then punch. Warding off. Shift back. Connect with your diagonal fist as well. Now rotate to show grab. Bend the arm. Close step. Up and down, go together. Ward off right. Now remember, next session, we are not going to have any change in our footwork. So you get to look forward to that, okay? Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed today's session. Next time, we're going to be getting into roll back, which is the second movement in grasping the bird's tail. Remember, things are still looking a lot different for me right now. I'm still dealing with a lot of neck and shoulder pain, which is why I'm mirroring you for this movement as I'm unable to do it normally. So I hope you're finding that mirrored teaching valuable. Remember, all we can do is that little bit every day. It always helps us to keep moving. That's how we're going to live our best life. So even a few minutes a day is going to help you feel your best. I want to challenge you every day, 5 minutes a day. That's the goal of learning this form, right? It only takes about 3 minutes once we've learned the whole thing, and we have this great practice for our lifetime. So I hope you enjoyed today's session. I hope to see you again soon. And in the meantime, you know where to find me.